Alex Polizzi is an award-winning hotelier with over 20 years' experience of working in the world's most luxurious hotels. Born into the legendary Forte hotel dynasty, she's on a crusade to transform Britain's most desperate hotels and B&Bs.
It looks like it's been ridden hard, this old pony.
From outrageous owners to dodgy decor.
I don't know who the decorator was, but she deserves to be bitch-slapped.
Nothing escapes the hotel inspector's beady eye.
Roasted fingernail swamp.
She's like a spy.
Or her quest for perfection.
Why are you ranked the worst? That's the question that I'm asking you.
It's a complete false lie.
This week, Alex gets all fired up in Wigan.
I could really, really kill you right now.
First impressions are awful.
I feel like all my words have fallen on deaf ears. I think you've lost your tiny mind.
The Bellingham, a 33-bedroom hotel in the heart of the northern town of Wigan. Run by 24-year-old former burger van operator Richard Phillips.
See, that's what I'm used to doing on a catering van. Frying chips, grilling burgers.
Richard's dad, local businessman Steve, took over the Bellingham last year.
Morning. Morning.
Putting his inexperienced son in charge of restoring the once proud Victorian hotel back to its former glory.
Did that help?
It did actually, it went back in a bit.
As well as taking responsibility for 33 bedrooms, 2 bridal suites, a function room, restaurant and bar, Richard also inherited his sales and marketing manager, the 6-foot former catwalk queen, Jen Hunter.
Richard is our divine leader.
Richard always wins.
No, Richard doesn't always win.
Richard's in charge. An ex-supermodel as your marketing manager, I suppose it gives the Bellingham a bit of a wow factor. I suppose it puts a bit more glamour back in the building. Oh yes, genius.
He wouldn't have been my first choice to run a hotel. If you could wave a magic wand and make him brilliant at personal organisation and management, then that would be great.
And either what?
He's young, so he deals with things that some people wouldn't deal with in certain ways.
Shit at this bit as well.
Swear to God, man, you will test any woman's patience to the limit.
Richard and Jen also failed to see eye to eye on the Bellingham's Wild West-themed restaurant, the Speedway Grill. Richard's grand plan was to inject some northern soul into the building, but his cowboy cuisine failed to fire up custom, and he was forced to shut its doors.
Genuinely thought it was really going to work. It just makes it all the more unfortunate that it just never really took off.
I think that you need to stick to your job, and I need to stick to my job.
The failure of the restaurant hit the hotel hard, and with bedrooms selling for just £25 per night, Richard and Jen have found it hard to agree on the way forward.
It's going to get to the point where it's going to be cheaper to close a business down and board the windows up than it is to get people into the door.
If Richard doesn't turn things around soon, the Bellingham could go down the pan.
Failure's not an option. I really don't want to fail, and I'm the boss, so anything goes tits up. It's my fault.
Enter the hotel inspector. Can renowned expert Alex Polizzi help Richard secure the Bellingham's future?
You're looking very smart today, Richard. I am impressed, but that's not to say you don't always look smart.
So, here I am at the Bellingham, which apparently 30 years ago was the place to be seen in Wigan. Looking at the cactuses either side of the front door, I've got a treat in store.
To find out why the hotel is failing, Alex will stay the night.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. My name's Richard.
Richard, Alex Polizzi. Hi, Carol. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me here.
If you just book in with me first, and then we'll take you upstairs to your room, OK?
Yeah. Am I allowed to have a look in some of the bedrooms?
No, of course, wherever you'd like to see.
OK, great, thank you.
If you'd like to come with me, I'll show you
Great.
to your room. Let me get the job.
Thanks, darling.
The Bellingham has 33 ensuite bedrooms. But for her stay, assistant manager Carol has arranged for Alex to be offered her choice of the hotel's 2 premier rooms, the bridal suites, both charged at £70 per night.
Thank you.
Let's go in. This is one of the 2 suites which we use predominantly as wedding rooms. It is classified as one of the better rooms. So this one's charged out at £70 a night.
It wouldn't cost a lot of money to put a plain white cover on the bed. That, with this carpet and those blinds, are kind of death.
To be a fly on the wall would be good. I know I said I wouldn't want to have been following her, but at the same time, you always want to know what's being said about something that you care about so much.
Goodness. I don't know whether it's the tiles or the floral curtains with the tiles or the pink shower curtain. I'd find this a pretty depressing suite to spend a wedding night in. Onward.
The first suite has left a sour taste, so Alex demands to see option 2, which looks very different.
Thank you.
Here we are, Alex.
Compared to the other room, this looks like the Savoy. I can't quite believe that you sell this room for the same price as the other room. It's a bit cheeky. Thanks, bye. Well, the decor of this room is not to my taste, but it does look as if it's been fairly recently done. It's quite fresh. Not quite sure what this is for.
I suppose I'm a little bit nervous that she's on her own. I mean, there's always the chance that she could find something that would massively surprise us, but no, I'm fairly confident.
OK, this is the first sign of things not being done particularly well. Can you see that? That dark, nasty mark? I mean, that's pretty manky too.
We've done the normal monthly deep cleans and the guys have done all the room inspections.
Never seen that happen before.
I know that it's clean. I'll always back that up. I know the housekeepers do a good job.
Ah, look at all this. Starting to feel slightly grossed out.
A tour of the Bellingham's other rooms, charged at £25 a night, also fails to raise a smile.
Everything's horrible. You know, the curtains are disgusting. The carpet's all tatty. Pillows? Can you call that a pillow, even? Does that come under the pillow family? Gosh, well, this is a pretty depressing room, isn't it? Almost the most depressing thing is that someone has thought, in a moment of lunacy, that the only way to cheer this room up is to put these kind of rather odd beach hut pictures around. Why would you put one there? They probably don't sell it on The View, do they?
With the bedrooms providing little cheer, Alex heads downstairs. But to her taste, the Bellingham's northern restaurant is a little too Western.
When Richard took over as management, they tried to make it like a kind of steakhouse grill theme.
We invested quite heavily in the artwork on the walls, put a few cactuses in there, tried to make it feel a bit desert-like.
It's horrific.
It's rare that I've seen such an ill-conceived restaurant idea in all my life. Of course, it didn't work, and this is what is left. Who wakes up in the morning and goes, I know what I'll do to revive the fortunes of the Bellingham Hotel. Let's have a Mexican grill.
It's not a Mexican theme. It's just cactuses. You get cactuses in America.
I like the cactuses.
The colour in here is awful. The lighting in here is awful. This is where they now serve breakfast. I don't know, it's a very uneasy mix for me. I don't like it at all.
The disappointing bedrooms and the ill-conceived Speedway Grill have left Alex wondering if the young manager has bitten off more than he can chew.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Gosh, so if you were forced to write a job description, what would you put under the title, role and responsibilities?
Overseeing reception, managing the bar, overseeing the kitchen and managing functions.
It sounds to me like the accommodation's a poor relation here.
In what sense?
Well, you haven't mentioned a word to me about checking rooms. You haven't said to me about checking housekeeping standards. Goodness knows, I could write you a nice song on this. I haven't met Jen yet. How do you get on with her?
I think there's a lot of focus being put on the relationship between me and Jen, but...
Well, obviously, because you're the two front people, really.
I disagree. Me and Carol are the two front people for me.
OK, I think you misunderstand the role that a proper sales and marketing person has in a business, in a hotel business. They are basically one of the linchpins of a business. All right, fine. I think that's enough for today. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
All right.
For Alex, the meeting with Richard has done little to inspire confidence.
In the 70s, this was the place to be seen, but the 70s is now a very long time ago. And, you know, the passing of every single year has left its mark on this place. I really have no idea which aspect of this I need to help them tackle. We've got an inexperienced manager. They don't have a restaurant anymore. Rooms are £25 a night. I can't quite understand how they think they're going to make this work. There isn't one bit that doesn't need attention. If I was in their shoes, that would make me very, very nervous.
Will Richard step up or fall flat on his face?
First impressions are awful.
I think you've lost your tiny mind.
Alex Polizzi is in Wigan, helping 24-year-old Richard Phillips and his team turn around the fortunes of the Bellingham Hotel.
What's the phrase? The blind leading the blind.
But so far, she's found an old, run-down Victorian building run by a young, inexperienced manager.
I went to bed last night really worrying about what I was going to do for them. By the end of today, it has to have all become clear, and I have to have a plan in place. Otherwise, there just won't be enough time to execute it.
After a good night's sleep, Alex is forced to make a pit stop at the hotel's Speedway Grill, the Bellingham's now defunct restaurant that serves as a breakfast room.
Good morning.
May I take your order, please?
Yes, lovely. I'm going to have an English breakfast. I'll have some coffee too, please.
OK.
Thank you, darling.
While the chef prepares the banquet, Richard is on hand to give it the royal seal of approval.
OK, let's go.
Fit for a king.
Yes, very good.
Lovely, thank you.
Enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you so much, gosh. The breakfast of champions. Arr.
But while the food might hit the spot,
It's fine.
the decor is less appetizing.
It's really an inappropriate place to eat breakfast, isn't it? Somehow.
With the chef's skills not in question, Alex is keen to discover why the Bellingham's Speedway Grill crashed and burned.
Hi, chef. I had a really nice breakfast, thank you very much. It's a kind of dead space at the heart of the hotel, isn't it? Does it bother you that there's...
It upsets me a bit, to be honest with you, because it should be a good restaurant out there. And to see it just sat there, dressed up for breakfast day in, day out, just upsets you as the chef, to be honest with you.
It's the Speedway Grill bit that I don't get, and the Mexican bit side of things.
The actual design of the restaurant had nothing to do with me.
OK. It'd be useful to see what menu you used to
I'll
have
have a copy
there.
of that, yeah.
Thanks. So, well-priced starters, side orders, and very keenly priced meat too.
The restaurant's offering has given Alex more food for thought.
The menu certainly isn't what I'd like to eat. And it's very heavily meat-based. I mean, if you didn't want meat, there wasn't really an option. Successful restaurateurs are the ones who are kind of slightly ahead of the curve. I'm not entirely sure that Richard's in that league.
With a mothballed restaurant and hotel rooms past their sell-by date, Alex is worried that if Richard is ever going to be ahead of the curve, he's going to need some straight talking.
So, I have a little surprise arranged.
Right.
As general manager, she believes Richard isn't spending enough time overseeing the bedrooms and is unaware of just how far they've fallen behind customer expectations. So she's invited a group of the top movers and shakers from Wigan's Bridal Society, from wedding planners to prospective brides-to-be, to run their eye over the hotel's four-poster bridal suite. And they've come dressed for the occasion.
Hello all, do please come through. This is the general manager.
Hello everybody, my name's Richard, it's nice to meet you.
I'm going to leave you in Richard's hands.
Right, what I'll do is show you the function room first.
No, I'd like you to show the bedrooms first.
I'll show you the bedrooms first.
Thank you.
Can Richard turn on the charm?
Richard is very laid back about certain things. He puts in a hell of a lot of hours. Never cleaning rooms though, funny that, isn't it? I've never actually seen him don a penny and actually get down to the bare bones of it.
Do any of you have any thoughts on the room?
It's very tatty. Very, very tatty.
It wouldn't appeal to a young aspiring bride like Rebecca, I don't think.
Yeah. There's a lot of
It
pine.
smells quite musty.
Yeah.
There's cracks in the ceiling, wallpaper's hanging off.
He's got a group of very outspoken people, which is exactly what I needed. I want him to hear some proper feedback.
My nightmare.
I hope this is helping Richard come to my conclusion that ultimately this is not a room suitable to be described as a wedding suite.
First impressions are awful.
Right.
For Richard, the management honeymoon is well and truly over.
You know, you have to put yourself in the lion's den once in a while
Yeah,
to
sure.
know what's really going on. This is a big group to deal with, darling. I do recognise
yeah.
that. But I think it's important to put you under pressure.
Some of the criticism, it's negative, it's constructive. And as I've said to you, anything you've said, I'm taking everything on.
With Richard's eyes opened, Alex wants him and his team to increase the hotel's profits by upgrading some of their bargain basement rooms.
I don't think all your rooms should be £25 rooms. I think you have some room stock which is a £25 room, and you have some stock which is much closer to a £35 room. I'd like you to identify them and work out what you're going to do so that you can sell them at £35, £40, so that you have a third grade of room. It's a very quick way to bring in a little bit more income without spending a huge amount of money. You know, room profit is quite pure profit.
Next, Alex wants to tame the Wild West restaurant.
We all agree that this, at the heart of the hotel, and the fact that it's so underutilised, and actually I have to say I find personally incredibly ugly and unwelcoming, and this is something that I'm going to have to tackle. I am going to come up with a fantastic design for here that is much warmer, much more welcoming, that puts it firmly back at the heart of the hotel.
Alex also wants Richard and his team to do their bit by making over the food offering.
Get a menu in here that really works. Tempt the locals back in. Yeah?
Yeah.
Finally, Alex wants Richard to step up and be the leader the hotel desperately needs.
I think that Richard has got to man up. You know, you're the general manager. I know you've had a very steep learning curve. I appreciate that you've been firefighting and you've been covering lots of jobs. But I want to push you to become a lot better, a lot quicker.
Okay.
You need to go check rooms. You need to make sure your housekeepers are doing a good job. You can't take it on a wing and a prayer. You know, you've been in this role now long enough for the staff to know you. Now you need to start forward planning.
Manning up means stop moaning. Generally, when I use it, but I think when Alex is saying it, I think she's expecting me to stand up and be a better leader, it seems. I guess that's what she's getting at. Different to my definition, but I see where she's coming from.
With Alex gone, Richard wastes little time employing his new leadership skills.
What I've been doing at the minute is going around to the rooms, making a list to see which rooms are going to be best to upgrade to the middle tier.
Bed needs fixing. The disturbing carpet needs to start matching the walls.
As general manager, I think it's very important that Richard spends time in the rooms, because otherwise, how is he to know whether housekeeping do their job properly?
Since Alex's visit, it has stepped up. The way that things are cleaned have been changed. When Alex does come back, if she does find any dirty areas, it will be cleaned. But I'm 100% certain she will not find any dirty areas.
But is Richard's new management approach a little too hands-off?
Need to get that one out. And every little bit of furniture, the only thing staying in is going to be the mirror.
The best GMs are incredibly organised. They're very good communicators.
It's not a present that needs to go.
Right, would you like me to put them somewhere special for you?
I think being more commanding and taking charge, leading from the front, that's what I'm going to do.
Notice how Richard got the mattress and the bed in and we got the actual bed.
His main role is to stand back and see the bigger picture and plan the route ahead.
You just stand it with your hands in your pocket and watch us do it. It's fine.
I'm actually enjoying watching you struggle.
Bloody hell.
I hope Alex sees a new Richard when she comes back. Just let the lion roar.
Will Richard's roar be worse than Alex's bite?
I'm gobsmacked at some of the things that are on this.
Was there anything that she picked up and said, that's good?
No, there was no positive feedback.
Alex Polizzi is at the 33-bedroom Bellingham Hotel in Wigan, helping 24-year-old former burger van operator Richard Phillips find his way.
Look, I found a saw.
But after her first visit, she discovered questionable leadership skills
I could really, really kill you right now.
and a management style straight out of Fawlty Towers.
Looking forward to Alex coming back. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she says about the rooms that we've done. I'm doing a good job, I think, so maybe she'll see her.
At the end of the day, the buck starts with him, so if something goes wrong, it's his neck on the line. So I think it's only right that, you know, he does take a more of a perceptive role of what's going on around him.
Alex is back, hoping to see some changes.
I would like, on my return, to see a Richard who is much more driven, much more focused. He's just got to pull his socks up, grow a set, and get on with it. Hello. How are you all?
Good.
How's everything been going?
We've been quite busy, I think. We've had lots to be going on. We were taking all your advice on board, and I think we've tackled it really head on.
Have you spent more time in the rooms, going around the rooms?
We've been up, taking stuff out of them and looking at the decorating that needs to be done.
So far, so good.
Alex wanted Richard to improve the hotel's profitability by upgrading some of the Bellingham's bedrooms, so he could charge more than just £25 a night. And he's keen to show off his progress.
So, this is the first one that we've done and completed.
My goodness, it's a huge, huge difference. This is definitely a step up in the world, isn't it? I mean, it does feel like this is a very different room from some of your others, even if you can only do a couple of rooms a month.
Yeah.
You just need that middle tier.
It's a good start, but Alex thinks Richard still hasn't gone far enough. Mindful of the grilling from Wigan's Bridal Society, she wants the Bellingham team to take on the woeful wooden suite.
It's just, this is a room that I think that you need to tackle next. I know that you think that this is what people want, and maybe they do until they see it. This should be a bestseller, but it isn't the way it is at the moment. Let's not waste this room. Let's get rid. Okay?
While she puts her trust in the Bellingham team to get to grips with the bedroom renovations, Alex decides it's time to get her hands dirty in the hotel's restaurant.
Right, the cacti. They have to go.
Do you want some tissues?
Bye-bye, cactus.
I did really like the cactuses. One of them started off as a penis on the wall as well, which is quite funny. There'll be some endearing memories there. I'll certainly be sad to see them go.
I mean, I know you don't have the full scheme, but it's going to be much chicer and actually much cosier. And I think the main thing is we've got to make it really appealing. And trust me. It's really important that relaunching the Bellingham restaurant is successful because, you know, within living memory and quite recent memory, the restaurant's already failed. So, you know, people don't forgive too many failures in a row. I think that if they don't hit the mark this time, the Bellingham restaurant just won't open its doors again.
Alex's team continues the transformation from Speedway Grill to chic, modern and stylish bistro. After giving the restaurant a new direction, Alex now wants the team to put the hotel firmly back on the map.
Alex has asked us to put on an opening event to showcase the restaurant.
I'm so looking forward to being able to relaunch the restaurant, to remarket it, to get it out there, get it out in the public. I will work my backside off to make sure people are aware that this is going on.
But 1 week before the big relaunch, Richard's management skills are called into action. With the hotel's financial situation still uncertain, he's forced to make one of the toughest decisions of his young career.
Since Alex's last visit, I've had to make the decision to release a member of staff. That person's Jen, solely for the reason that we just couldn't afford anymore. With the business how it is, we need to cut costs wherever. So unfortunately, we've just had to make that decision.
Unfortunately, they can't afford me anymore, which is a sad situation, but it's one of those things that you have to go through in life. Just put it down to experience and move onwards and upwards, I'm afraid.
With Jen gone, it's left to Carol and Richard to market the Bellingham's relaunch event.
Welcome to Studio 5.
So they look to spread the word with an advert on local radio.
I'm Richard Phillips, General Manager of the Bellingham Hotel.
You don't need to read that line because you know who you are and what your job is. Me and Carol look forward to meeting you.
Me and Carol look forward to meeting you.
OK, I want that last line again, please, Richards. The last one was a little bit stiff.
We can't wait to see you. Please, just come and see us. Please.
I like that last one. I think that's the take.
Back at the hotel, Alex's team have completed their renovations, changing the hotel's Wild West-themed Speedway grill from spiky yellow into a more tasteful, refined, modern restaurant.
Ready, Richard?
I'm ready.
Ready, stay there. Ready? There we go.
Whoa.
How good is that?
Like the chairs.
Yeah. It looks like a real restaurant now, doesn't it?
It's fantastic. It looks a million times better when there's people in it, but even now it looks like a restaurant. It's fantastic. It's everything that we wanted, so.
I think it's gorgeous. I love it.
Alex's team have also transformed the hotel's lounge area into a comfortable and stylish environment. A perfect spot for modern diners to relax with drinks before or after dinner.
It's actually now just a real lounge now. It's not just a room with a name that doesn't fit. No, I'm really impressed with it.
A cool contemporary restaurant deserves an equally stylish menu.
Just example of things, we've got sandwiches, paninis, baguettes.
So, after much consideration, Carol, Richard and Dad Steve have come up with their very own Bellingham special. Tea and cake with ham and pineapple sandwiches.
The new menu that we put together, it's very traditional. There's afternoon tea on it, which we'll be delivering on tiered stands. First impressions, it does look really good.
Yeah. It's really important that Richard tastes the menu, make sure the portion sizes are right.
Bready, creamy and sweet.
Could be in Cornwall right now.
And make sure ultimately that each dish is something that they would like to eat.
All the classical tea rooms in Yorkshire, London, those type of places, you pay £25 a head for that quality of presentation. It looks absolutely superb. definitely got the wow factor.
With the restaurant, at least, ready for inspection,
Hi. I've got a room booked in the name of Philpin.
Alex has arranged for a representative of the prestigious Les Routiers organisation to visit. They recognise hotels that offer excellent food, warm hospitality and good value for money.
Decorated, so...
If Richard can impress the assessor at tomorrow's relaunch event, the Bellingham could become the first hotel in Wigan to win the right to display their coveted badge.
Thank you.
Let's pop your room key down on here.
Thank you very much.
Anything, just say come down, let me know.
I will do.
All right.
But first, Richard has to get the Bellingham's new menu past the hotel inspector.
Hello?
Hi, is that Richard?
It is, yes.
Hi, darling, it's Alex.
Hello, Alex, how are you?
I'm fine. I've got to talk to you about the menu, though.
Okay.
You know, look at your lovely restaurant and look at this menu. This menu's a pig's ear compared to the restaurant. I mean, honestly, I've never heard of a ham and pineapple sandwich.
Right.
I have never heard of a prawn mayonnaise omelette. I mean, honestly, literally, darling, I'm gobsmacked at some of the things that are on this. I think you've lost your tiny mind. We need to make sure that the kind of food offering and the dining room, there's some kind of match.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Have fun, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
That is the definition of doesn't have a fucking clue.
Just spoken to Alex. She's read the menu.
Was there anything that she picked up and said, that's good?
No, there was no positive feedback.
Next morning, the Bellingham prepares for one of the biggest days in its history. But manager Richard seems to be taking a relaxed approach.
Richard!
Hello.
Morning. You coming down?
Yeah.
As Richard attempts a quick rewrite of the menu,
The ham and pineapple sandwiches have been ditched for ham and mustard.
OK.
Alex gets a taste of what's in store.
It's a chance to sample our new restaurant menu.
Enjoy a traditional cup of tea in our Victorian tea room.
Plus a chance to win a stay in one of our bridal suites.
The Bellingham Hotel, Wigan Lane, Wigan. Awesome.
What on earth is this rubbish about the Victorian bloody tea room? I haven't given them a Victorian tea room. I've given them a modern dining room. They never bloody listen, not to a word I say.
The hotel inspector's back, complete with B in her bonnet.
Full of confidence that this will be done.
I am always confident.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Already slightly irate because I heard the radio ad
Yeah.
in which you described your restaurant as a Victorian tea room. Is it a Victorian tea room?
In the daytime, it could be.
Let me see the menu right now. I assume that everything's completely under control for this, the biggest day of the Bellingham's life.
No, it's in control.
Is it?
Yeah.
Menu?
I've saved it on the memory stick, which I've just sent out. I can't do it.
I'm assuming that the ham and pineapple sandwich has been...
Yeah, it's not anymore.
And is the team ready for the day?
The team's ready, but it's a little bit different from last time, I think. Since you were last here, Jen's now left us. But it was a decision that I had to make.
I'm going to keep an open mind as to it was a good idea or not to lose Jen at this point in the proceedings, but possibly it might have been useful to have an extra pair of hands.
Unimpressed with preparations downstairs, Alex is keen to check on Richard's progress with the hotel's inferior bridal suite. Now it finally looks as though it can justify its superior room rate.
Wow, this looks very different. You've done a good job. It's a lot nicer now. It looks great, darling. Can I see the bathroom?
You may. You gonna be impressed?
What have you done with the orange tiles?
We've disguised them cleverly.
Darling, that's so clever. It looks really clean and much more modern. Well done.
Fantastic, thank you.
Let's go and get on with preparations.
So has Richard finally become the manager the Bellingham needs?
I mean, he's saying all the right things. You know, at this point, I have to say, there's not much I can do to help him with his event. We've gone right down the wire here. I just have to keep my fingers crossed and hope that his confidence isn't misplaced.
Will the Bellingham go down with all hands on deck?
It looks organised because it is organised.
Any minute now, the whole situation's going to go into meltdown.
Alex Polizzi is at the Bellingham, a 33-bedroom hotel in Wigan. After renovating the hotel's restaurant, she's asked its young manager to relaunch it back into the community. She's also hoping Richard can impress an assessor from the Les Routiers organisation so the hotel can claim one of its coveted awards. With one of the biggest days in the Bellingham's long history about to begin, Alex wants to check Richard is ready.
So, we want to get everything set, but
Yes.
first of all, is this really how you want the restaurant to be set out?
I'm going to go and grab my list, cloths and cutlery.
Hurry up, chop. It is now what? Almost 11:30. People are arriving at 1. You don't have that long.
Where has he pulled it?
I hope Alex is impressed with what she's seen so far. We're planning for it for a couple of weeks now. It looks organised because it is organised.
Richard, is this what you want me to lay out with?
I'm just looking for the rest of the cutlery.
He's lost the cutlery.
I need to find the frilly cutlery. Have you seen it?
While the cutlery remains elusive, another problem is delivered to the kitchen.
The bread's frozen.
Frozen?
Solid.
What a cock.
What's happened?
Frozen bread. And 1 hour to kick off.
I would say it's a supermarket job, don't you?
I would certainly say so, yes.
Okay,
Quick.
do it.
Be general managerish.
Do it.
Bread has come in frozen. Richard has lost the cutlery. Any minute now, the whole situation's going to go into meltdown. I'm going to sound the submarine alarm, you know, diving. Boop, boop, boop.
Richard finally lays his hands on the frilly cutlery. But the young manager has no time to help set tables as the first of his guests arrive.
Madam there, it's very nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, we're looking forward to see what you've been doing here. It used to be one of the places to go in Wigan, so I hope that's the case again.
The guests continue to pile in, enjoying the entertainment laid on by Richard and his team. The new restaurant attracts plenty of attention. And although Richard has removed the ham and pineapple sandwiches from the menu, it seems he may have forgotten to tell the chef.
We're good to go on these starters, Chef? Hello? Yeah?
With things hotting up in the kitchen, Richard decides to get more hands-on with his management style.
Just do laps. If you just alternate, so someone starts through that door, someone starts through that door.
But as Richard begins to win friends, Alex spots a familiar enemy.
I cannot fucking believe my aunt. Carol, excuse me. Can I just show you? Because I wouldn't believe it unless I'd seen it myself. I feel like all my words have fallen on deaf ears. Not only has the fucking ham and pineapple sandwich come out of the kitchen, but everything I've said about leadership just doesn't really seem to kind of filter through his brain. How do you think it's going?
I think it's going really well. People are enjoying it. There's lots of people here.
I think it's chaotic. You know, the communication between kitchen and eating staff is bad. You know, they're not talking to each other very well. And I'm worried that no one's going to schmooze your guests.
With Alex's words ringing in his ears, Richard sets off on a Bellingham charm offensive.
Sorry to bother you guys. Is everything okay for you?
Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you.
It's all to your taste and liking, yes? Oh, wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hello there. Sorry to bother you. Is everything okay for you? The soup to your taste?
It's very nice.
Upstairs, Richard's newly revamped suite at least gets a seal of approval from the returning members of Wigan's Bridal Society.
Beautiful. That's what you expect.
Better. The drapes on the bed are good.
Stunning.
Oh, fantastic, Richard.
Beautiful.
You've really worked hard.
Really lovely.
Better, to say the least.
Despite the slow start and the ham and pineapple sandwiches, the locals seem impressed by the new Bellingham.
The ambiance, the decor is beautiful.
Menu's fabulous. It's uncomplicated, plenty of choice. Really, really nice.
I should imagine hopefully people start coming back and it'll be like it used to be a few years ago.
The venue itself, the decor, everything, it's just right. It's just perfect.
But one opinion counts more than any other. Has the young manager done enough to win a coveted Les Routiers award?
The routier to our subscribers and to people who know routier is basically that they are getting excellent service, good cuisine, and a warm welcome. Moving on to earlier today, we've had your lunch and your launch of your restaurant. Your service, you need to work on that. We had the teas coming out before the main meals came out, and so there was a little bit of confusion there. On the proviso, that a lot of these things are done and updated, and I'll help out with some of the things that other things I've pointed out as well, and I'll be back in 6 months' time to check. I'm glad to say that, yes, you have met the criteria.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Good.
Against all the odds, Richard has pulled it off. As Alex leaves the Bellingham for the last time, some final words of advice for Richard.
I'm sure you're relieved to know that my time here is done. But organisation needs a lot of work, and communication is the key. You know, you've got to be a general manager worthy of the name, and I think you're capable of it, but, you know, just those two pieces of advice: plan and communicate, and you'll do fine. And I wish you and your new restaurant all the best for the future.
Thank you very much.
All right, my darling.
The tips she's given me are helpful. The tips she's given me I'm going to remember and use, but I'm still the same. As I said, I'm just learning my job more as every day goes by. I've manned up maybe on the outside to Alex, but there's a man lurking in me too.
Next time.
Oh, it's the first time I've been here. Definitely be the last.
If you don't like the room, for God's sake, why do you take it?
Why are you ranked the worst?
It's a complete lie.
Well, it's been eventful in the south of France, but the ultimate dating competition is about to go to a whole new level as the tables get turned in Tuscany. The new series The Bachelor continues tomorrow night at 10:30. Next tonight, it's Big Brother.